Thank you for that nice introduction, Dr. Copper. But for some reason, she didn't ask for my signature. Good morning, administrative staff, faculty, graduates, and guests. I am so pleased for this opportunity to be your commencement speaker. Not bad for a townie that grew up at 243 North Prairie Street. Moved in there in 1947. There were 222 students going to school at UW-Whitewater, so I got a firsthand view of this place exploding into where it is today. This is just a tremendous honor. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be able to do this. Being as I got the keys to this building, on Wednesday, I came down here after they had it all set up and thought I'd case the place out a little bit. And I walked in and I thought, whoa, there's a lot of chairs here. And I actually did a head count, and there's about 6,000 chairs in here. So I walked down there, I came up here, and I looked out, and I said, whoa, this place is really big. You know, it's not like holding practice in here when there's 3 or 4 teams going on, nets are down. It just doesn't look like this. I kind of likened it to my favorite TV show, Nashville. It's kind of like you've been playing the Bluebird Cafe forever, and now you're doing Operaland. Well, I know that Chancellor Telfer will tell you that this is about the graduates here today. This is also a little bit about him. As most of you are probably not aware, he's retiring in June. Okay, so this is his last winter commencement exercise. So I would like to give a special thank you to Chancellor Telfer, a friend and colleague for over 30 years. He's the 8th chancellor that I've been associated with, and each of those chancellors left their own legacy, which helped to make this the great university it is today. I call it a AAA university, one that excels in academics, the arts, and athletics. When they write the chapter on Dr. Telfer, history will show that he was one of our great chancellors moving us forward in the 21st century. I think we should have a tremendous round of applause for Dick Telfer for a job well done. "50 years ago, I was sitting where you're sitting, a winter commencement graduate of the then called Wisconsin State University Whitewater. I have no clue who the speaker was or if we even had one. Having said that, I hope somebody remembers I was here for 50 years from now. What I do remember knowing on that day was that I had just spent the greatest 4.5 years of my life. I had a signed contract to teach and coach at Fort Atkinson High School. I had no debt except a $100 a month car payment on my new shiny red convertible. I wish I had that car still too. The future was bright, the sky was the limit, and quite frankly, life was good. I would like to share with you some comparisons between the 60s and 2014. Things were much different back in the day. The first thing would be student communication. The telephone or the mail were the only 2 options that you had. And the telephone was one phone at the end of the hall that you shared with everybody on the floor. If you were anyplace else, you had to find one and put money in it to call. Today's student, I absolutely would swear, has their cell phone surgically attached to their ear. I often ask my mother, who lived to be over 100 years old, what was the greatest thing that she'd seen in her lifetime. And she always used to say television. She never wavered. It was always television. And for me, for a long time, it was always the space shuttle. Okay, I marveled that they shot that thing up, went around the Earth, and came back down. But Recently, I was out shopping around for a new i6 phone, and I'm convinced that this device is changing the world. You know, if I do something wrong here today, by the time I walk off the stage, I'll probably be viral. Looking back at the 60s, when women went to class, they had to wear a skirt or a dress. There was no exceptions. Today's women go to class dressed however they please, and quite frankly, I think we've seen it all. Women had a curfew, 10:30 on the weeknights and 12:30 on the weekends. Late minutes were handed out, and when you accumulated X number of minutes, you were grounded for the weekend. Can you guys imagine living with that in this day and age? No way. Enrollment in 1960 was 1,950 students. Everybody knew everyone. Today's enrollment is 12,100 plus. Tuition in 1960 was $67.50. That's $67.50. Today's tuition is $37.99. That's $3,799 a semester if you are an in-state student. And of course, parents, you already knew that. And back in the 60s, students went downtown on Thursday night, and you know what? Students still go downtown on Thursday night. My formula for success is this. Establish a set of goals for yourself, and you've already reached one of the most important ones. You are soon to be a graduate of UW-Whitewater. Have a plan. Don't be afraid to take chances along the way. Stay the course and stick with it until the goal has been accomplished. Position yourself so you can be in the right place at the right time. Timing can be everything. I would like to share with you how that formula worked for me. My short-term goal was to be a high school teacher and coach. My long-term goal was to be a teacher and coach here. So I had the first one already in hand, so I had to start working on the second one. So I knew that the ticket in the door was a master's degree, and I immediately got in a master's program and got that out of the way. The next thing was to get hired at UW-Whitewater. As happens for a lot of you in life, you kind of lose sight of what your goals are and where you're going. For me, I was out on a Thursday night and I ran into Carol, and we ended up getting married. She had a teaching job in Jefferson, I had a teaching job in Fort, and quite frankly, life was good. I took a chance, a huge chance. Out of the clear blue, UW-Whitewater called and offered me a job. I took a $2,000 pay cut to become the equipment manager for Warhawk Athletics. Think about that. I had a master's degree. I took a $2,000 pay cut so I could sort jocks and socks. As promised, a year later, I became the director of Warhawk Stadium and assistant basketball coach. Timing came into play when the head basketball coach quit on the first day of practice. And I became the youngest head college basketball coach in the country. Was I ready? I thought so then, but I wasn't. 4 years later, at the age of 36, I became the youngest unemployed basketball coach in the country. Sometimes things don't work out as you planned. Was I disappointed? You bet. Did I lose some of my self-esteem? You bet, excuse me. However, there's a wonderful thing called tenure, and I had it, which meant I still had a job. So I reset my goals, established a new plan, and took some new chances. I became the assistant baseball coach, and 6 years later, timing came into play again when the head coach left, and I was named the new head baseball coach, and the rest is history. No one goes through life without disappointments and setbacks. You may have disappointments, you may have setbacks. I'm certain the people behind me over here have experienced disappointments and setbacks. You need to prepare yourself to deal with adversity, whatever comes your way. Remember, if that happens, reset your goals, have a plan, and take chances. It has been an honor and a privilege to come to this building for over 45 years. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I call it my love affair with UW-W. May you too have only fond memories of your alma mater. I hope that each of you has experienced the greatest time of your life spent here at Whitewater. Today, you become a life member of the Warhawk Nation. Be proud to be a Warhawk graduate. Wear it with pride. Go Hawks, beat Linfield.